Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to you about some of the things that can happen if you accidentally use consciousness or spiritual practices or other things as a way to escape life. So in this video, I want to talk to you about using your spiritual practice to escape life. This comes from, I got a little bit of inspiration from a colleague of mine, somebody who's come here. I've done some work with him. He's done some workshops here as well. And he was telling me about noticing that he was using contemplation or consciousness work to escape life. Like if life is hard, then, if I just use some contemplation, I can get out of the normal thoughts and life will be better. So I just wanted to, let's see, what's the value here? The quick value is don't do that, all right? And or notice that if you, so backing up, in consciousness work, like the type of work that I do quite a bit, it has a lot to do with being honest. It has a lot to do with confronting whatever's true, understanding, grasping what's true, becoming directly conscious of the absolute nature of something, becoming conscious of the relative nature of something, and everything in between. It's just all about what is. And a lot of people, myself included, started this type of work now not wanting it to fix me. Other people come in here, they want to use the work to fix them. And for whatever reason, there's a lot of, as far as I can tell, a lot of people do that. And the work, consciousness work, is not about fixing anybody. It's about getting people conscious of what's true. So if you are broken and you want to fix yourself, consciousness will reveal to you that that is the case. I'm broken and I want to fix myself, and you'll tell the truth about that. See, it doesn't change anything. Now, as I'm sure I'll reiterate, there's tons of benefits to doing consciousness work. It does allow you the capacity to change better. It allows you to get free of stuff. It allows you to be happier, get free of suffering, etc. It's just that's a byproduct, okay? So now one of the things that can happen is one can use consciousness work or spiritual practices to avoid life. Now, why would you do that? Well, in other practices, if you will, it seems to me there's a lot of fantasy. There's a lot of woo-woo, what you might call like woo-woo crap. It's like, let's just be all lovey-dovey and fantasy and feel good. And why? Because it's lovey-dovey, it feels good, and you don't have to look at any negative stuff that you might have going on or that might be going on in the world. And that can just be like pushed aside, and the focus can remain in this like as if bubble, if you will, of feely good, lovey-dovey stuff. And as people tend to react to the way that I would say this or the way that Ralston would say this and speak about this, it's usually a negative reaction to what's being said. I have no problem with, and as Peter would also say, is like he's got no problem with lovey-dovey. There's no problem with like being in a loving community. Have you ever been in a really loving community that is, they give you hugs and they accept you kind of for who you are, and it feels really good. There's something very wholesome and feeling about that and healthy, I think. But if you do that, a couple of things. One, if you're in a lovey-dovey, love-type spiritual fantasy, feel good all the time, if you're going to confront the real truth about feeling good, you have to recognize that good and bad are together. You cannot have good without bad. You cannot have bad without good. They are not separate. And you might have to confront that. And then, so now some people say if you want to be in with the consciousness type stuff, you want to go for it, you want to go real deep or whatever, you got to confront what is. You have to look into what is, good and bad. See, that's like if you want transcendence, it's like good and bad are both irrelevant. There just is, for example. See, because sometimes people think transcendent, I'll just feel good all the time. It's like, well, maybe you'll just be free of good and bad. Maybe there's a third option. Okay, that it's neither good nor bad. And that's another story. Okay, so now you can use, so backing up, if you want to get conscious, you would have to confront both good and bad and recognize that. And then if you want to, in yourself, get conscious of what's true, but you're avoiding all of the bad, all of the dark, all of the negative, all of the terrible, whatever, and there's a huge avoidance to that, then you're, again, going back to like use and value, what you deem useful and valuable, in this case, like all the feeling good, it's like, no, stay away from the bad, then you will not look there. And if you don't look there, then the likelihood of you grasping what's actually true about that is probably slim to none. So it's useful to be wide open, to be able to look both good or bad, and not avoid things, because again, if you avoid, that's called avoidance. What is avoidance? You're avoiding something. It's like you're intentionally not going somewhere because of, for whatever reasons you have, I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, what's tricky about this is this can go unnoticed. Not that I have any personal experience with avoiding things and not noticing I'm doing it. That's a joke, okay? You can avoid stuff and not realize that you're avoiding. And then in that case, now you're as if consciousness is limited to this world that just completely does not go over here. I don't know why it's on my left side. Who cares? It could be over here, whatever. See, you're not going to go there. Now, even though there may be areas of discomfort, as far as I can tell, the truth as if that lies beyond or through that wall, ultimately, if you get conscious enough, you'll realize that the things like maybe the anger and the fear or the brokenness or all that shit you avoid about yourself you really don't want to look at, it's a figment of your mind. You know, more and more I keep discovering that stuff isn't real, although, and I've confronted things in myself that I really had a strong reaction to, let's say. You see, I was like, I don't like this. But then I realized what was really true about this that I didn't like. And you don't get to recognize what's really true about it if you don't investigate, if you don't let it be there, if you don't confront it as if and be like, here's something about me. What is that? What, you see, rather than avoid. If you avoid, it's like, just pretend like everything's fine when it's not. Now, okay, so you got that? So now here's the consequence of just riffing off of what I just said. When I pretend something's fine when it's actually not, now I'm like living a pretense. Do you see how that works? This is a consequence. I'm pretending something's not there when it is for me. That's a consequence, pretending. I'll also be less in touch with what's really true about me. So then my awareness will be more shallow, perhaps. You could say it that way. I won't be as self-aware. Why? Because there's all this stuff I'm pretending is not there, and I'm only going to stay in this like little bubble up here where it's safe. Instead of expanding myself to include all of the crap, all like the good and the bad, warts and all, now my person shows up differently if I do that, for example. See? And there's a power there. And you don't get it if you avoid. Okay, so now what could you do about this? Some things you could do is like ask yourself, like, what am I avoiding? What could I be missing here about myself? Be willing to take a look at stuff you're avoiding. And open up to whatever's there. You don't have to put anything there. Just get what is going on with you and be willing to experience both the good and the bad. And that will help you to discover more and more what's really true about you as a person, or about the world. Okay? So that's a little bit about the avoidance trap. Now, how do you... I already gave you some tools for that. Another tool you can use, like sometimes because it can be very tricky, is use honesty. Be real honest with yourself and then get more honest and more real and more authentic. It's like, am I really pretending here? What's really going on here? Am I really being honest? How can I be more honest? What would be more true? What is more true of me or the world, or my experience of reality? See? And then you'll discover more things. Okay, so watch that. Otherwise, enjoy. And the person who gave me the inspiration for this video, thank you for writing in, by the way, I appreciate it. They said something like, yeah, and I think with all this avoidance stuff, it's bad because sometimes it can come back and bite you in the ass. And I'm like, yep, been there. Where it's like, in a funny way, if I am working on what's true and I'm working on to really be honest, sometimes it's like, metaphorically speaking, okay, don't get crazy with this. It's like my contemplation goes and I hit something. And my contemplation goes and I hit something, and then something starts to impinge on me as I'm being honest and trying to get what's true. Something keeps bumping up against me, metaphorically speaking, hitting me, and it's I'm getting touched with what's true, and then I'll go, wait a minute, I'm being told that there's something there. So contemplation can be a revealer of sorts like that. It comes up for me sometimes, something gets revealed little by little, but it's sometimes I don't realize. I'm like, huh? Why? What's this weird feeling? What's this weird thing going on? And then I go, oh, I'm avoiding something. Oh, yeah. Oh, go in there. What is that about? And then, or it could be a little rocky for a little bit, but hang in there. All that emotional stuff is just emotional stuff if you got it going on, Just let it roll. Or like I say, you let the house burn down. Okay, the house might be on fire. You just let it burn. It's okay. Enjoy the pain. Okay. All right. So it can reveal stuff a little bit like that. So don't allow your perhaps intuitive sense of, be open that you know a lot more in a certain way than your intellectual mind gets. The person on the surface of things, where you normally hang out on the surface, that person, you, is not aware of the whole story. And there is, usually through contemplation, wondering, being honest, more of the story can get revealed, and it's you know a lot more than you as a small entity within your awareness knows. I know that sounds a little bit weird, okay? So just be open that there's a lot more to get. All right, that's perhaps a better way to say that. There's more. And you can discover it through contemplation, honesty, rigor, lots of work, doing it over and over and over and over again, really wanting to know. These things help. Okay? So hey, Adam, thanks for writing in. Appreciate it. Hope this video is useful. For those of you out there who are avoiding shit, do whatever you want with that, all right? You can avoid and be ignorant, or you can go on in there and discover what there is to discover. And there's consequences to both, and I support you. I am all about you discovering what those consequences are and discovering how it is you want to relate to that. All right? And you can relate to it however you like. I'm a fan of relating to it more powerfully, whatever that is for you. Anyway, thanks very much. Thanks again for writing in. Till next time, much love. Take care. Talk soon. Blah, blah. Oh, yeah. If you want to get serious, check the links in the description. Come check out my website. I've got some stuff there for you. I'm getting ready to launch a new course, a little foundation course for consciousness. Go visit my website. If you want to, feel free to join in my forum. Write me questions. It helps me create content for you. Otherwise, if you want to get really serious, come here. Let's do a workshop. They're really powerful events. Again, the links can be found all in the description. Hey, also, if you want, email me. Write me a comment. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.